Hello everyone, Sunday Adelaja here, Kyiv, Ukraine. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's program. Eric Osadolo. Welcome Adeleke. Rochelle White. Mayowa. Bobo. Welcome. Pastor Obi Ojimadu. Welcome. Mufelola Omonike. Daniel Atsenga. Darlene Madu. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lola Shorunke. Pearl David. Welcome, Eukaria. It's been a while. Welcome, Fumi Okerayi. Welcome, Olukayode Lolaina. Neki Okoro, past Doctor Sufficient. She's coming on and she has a book there. Miranda Ngwafu, Ufoma Nigoro, Kayodo Yewume, Elizabeth Ali. Let's go ahead and share the link to this message. It's been a very serious week this week. We've been talking about raising up children, parenting, and we started with how to even welcome those children to the world in the first place. And now we started talking about raising up children, and I am trying to do a fundamental work to start out to talk about how to raise up children from the very small age, from when they're very young, from the age of 0, from when they come back from the hospital to adulthood. So we're going to talk about the specifics and peculiarities of raising up children at every age and at all ages. So, I hope you've been blessed. Those of you who have been here all week long, I hope you are learning some things. So today, right now, I'm going to be talking about how to parent or raise up children between the age of 8 to 11. Between the age of 8 to 11. Because from 12 years old will be tomorrow, because that's another ball game altogether, how to raise up 12-year-old kids and above. But today we are going to talk about how to raise up children between the age of 8 to 11. All right, so Father, bless this fellowship, bless this time together, and let this be a wonderful time of blessings and inspiration to your people. Okay, if you have shared the links already, if you have all shared the links, then let's go. We'll be ready to go. If you have shared the links, let's go ahead and start our class today. Glory Bai, it's been a long time. Welcome back. So today's class is how to raise up children between the age of 8 and 11, how to parenting children of the age of 8 to 11. But I'm going to take it smaller. So let's start with parenting children of the age of, I'm going to divide it into two groups. How to parent the children of the age of 8 to 9, and then 10 and 11. So how do we parent children of age 8 and 9, and then how do we parent children of 10 and 11? Okay, so when a child is 8 to 9 year old, of course, there are no more 7-year-olds, so they start to grow faster at this point, and one of the things you want to pay attention to is that at this age they've started school and they are going to primary 2 or class 2 or class 3, And so they are feeling themselves more independent. They feel themselves more grown up, more independent, but they are more active. So at this age, children are much more active. They are much more. They have much more movement. They add more movement, and they want to realize themselves in school. And at this point, the authority for them is no more their parents as it used to be. They have their parents and their sisters, their siblings and brothers, but they still have teachers who are, objects of authority for them, and they are schoolmates as well, a little bit. But so the authority they have is no more as strong with the family as before. So they are still children, so to say, because they are just 8 and 9 year old, but they are already more matured, more independent. They can do things by themselves. They can go out themselves. They can go and buy to the shop and buy things for themselves. They could go to classes, to school by themselves. So they're already no more children. They're already grown up. Unfortunately, at this age, most parents begin to have other children, younger children. So not all these children of this age enjoy enough attention from their parents. Most parents are busy paying attention to younger children. So even though they are no more small, but they are not grown up yet, and they still need definitely some attention. So what are the things that we want to pay attention to? First of all, you have to pay attention to you have to keep a balance. You have to try to strike a balance between a child that is no more a baby, that is no more a toddler, but it's already not, and it's also not yet an adult. So you have to strike a balance between giving them protection and watching over them, controlling them, and giving them freedom. So it has to be a balance to shake between giving them freedom and controlling them. So on one hand, these kind of children, they seem as if they don't need you as much because they're already, on their own. They can do a lot of things by themselves, as if they don't need much of you. But on the other hand, they still need you a lot. So you have to balance out of giving these children freedom and of course, monitoring them. So you don't, on one hand, you don't want to break his will, and you don't want to control him. You don't want to give them too much control, and you don't want to give them too much freedom yet as well, because they had not really grown up yet. So you still want to give them the oversight that they need. If you give too much protection and control to these children, they will grow up not being free with people. They will grow up timid. They will grow up intimidated, and they will grow up not not feeling the protection. Not feeling the freedom that they need, the liberty to relate with other children. But when you give them too much freedom as well, that could also lead to the other problem of them just being in their own world, not paying attention to other people, or being wayward, or coming under the influence of the streets. But at the same time, the father, like I said, the father has to maintain the systematic, the father or mother, any one of the two, you have to maintain the systematic routine of forming and developing core values in that child. You remember I said that you have to have a concrete time on daily basis where you meet with the children and you spend time with them, and you have between 30 minutes to 1.5 hours, where you have, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 1 hour, it could be 1.5 hours, depending on their age and their attention span. But when you are forming and formulating concrete informed value system in them. So every day, the children, even at this age, they must be aware that they are meeting with dad, and dad is sitting down with them, looking them in the face. You are relaxed, you make them to be relaxed as much as possible, and you are teaching them all the truth that they need to know at this stage. So during this time of development in children between age 8 and 9, the things that were really needed, the things that are mostly needed by the parents is, number one, you as a parent need a lot of patience. You need, because they are very active, and they are balancing things between school and home, and sometimes they don't reach that balance very well. Sometimes they want to play, sometimes they don't want to do their homework. Sometimes you need to really have patience to sit down with them to do their homework. Then you might also, at this time, you might also want to sit down with them to help them do homework and to teach them the discipline of doing their own work. So, and at this time also, you want to listen to them to see, because at this time, children begin to run into crisis with their colleagues and with their peers. So you want to listen to all the kind of conflicts and fights and disagreements that might be happening in the school. So you want to make sure that you hear them out. And that's another thing you need to do as a parent. You want to listen as much as possible to your children. You want to ask them what are the things happening. You want them to report back to you, and you want to give them your advice, your wisdom. So that is what those children between the age of 8 and 9 really need from you. And now another thing you have to pay attention to at this age is that by the age of 8 and 9, that your baby, your child that was just a little baby yesterday, will begin to feel he needs some independence. It begins to draw away from you a little bit. It begins to feel, you will begin to feel it, that child is drawing away from you. It's no more as dependent on you as before. So you have to understand that, give him enough freedom to feel that independence, and give him enough oversight. Give him oversight rather than control. But since that tendency has already started for the child to begin to feel that he needs some form of independence, and he needs some form of freedom and liberty, because it is the age between adult, between growing up graduating from childhood into adolescent age. So you need to pay attention. What are the things you need to teach the child at this point? Pay attention to teaching him respect. So even though it's no more a child that you are holding in your hand and that you are leading and you are, monitoring like before, but as he's feeling his as he's feeling his liberty and his freedom to be on his own, make sure that you pay a lot of attention to how he honors people around him. Teach him honor. Teach the child to honor the parents. Teach the child to honor father, mother. Teach him to honor teachers, elders. Teach him to respect people outside. Because he's going to get ready to be related soon. It's going to be relating more with the outside world than he's relating with the people inside. So he needs to have manners. So you need to begin to teach him manners of communication and relationship with the outside world. You want to teach him the secret and the power of honor, the power of respect. You want to teach him what real love is, and for him to not to be carried away by things happening in the school or outside. Let him know that family is his basis of love, and let him also learn to love his friends or his enemies and his peers, those he likes and those he doesn't like. He must beginning to exercise love towards them, and love towards all people as well. You also want to teach him the importance of friendly relationship between families. So you tell him about him having friends in other families and other families, relatives and things like that. So you want to teach him to respect family members and relatives and uncles and cousins. so that when he at this stage, when he's taught very well, when he grows up, he already knows how to build, very successful relationship with people, both people who are family members or distant family members, and people who are just people outside. But especially at this point, he needs to learn to show respect and honor both to the parents and to the mother, especially, and people in the family. Now, so let me give you some of the main points that you need to remember for this age of 8 and 9, for the children of the age of 9, 8 and 9. At this point, of course, he begins to have more work to do in the school, so you want to help him to be more focused in school and to do assignments and to really be a good student, to know that he has responsibility before his teachers, before his home assignment, and to grow both mentally, intellectually, and socially. Next thing you want to teach him is to also help him to strike a balance between school and home, so that when he comes home, he doesn't just play, and when he goes to school, he doesn't just think that that's the only place to study. And also, you want to give him some other assignments to be doing when he comes home, apart from schoolwork. You want to maybe begin to take him to sports. He has to be doing some sports or extra classes in music or swimming or other things like that, that will really be able to help him to develop. Or sports, maybe football, maybe other sports. So yeah, those are the things he could be doing at home, or when the parents might be at work, and those are some of the extra classes that he might need to, get himself busy with after school. So we want to let him be busy doing some things after school, rather than watching television and movies and things that will not give him so much positive development. Next thing that you want to teach a child of 8 and 9 is So next thing you want to pay attention to as parents parenting a child of 8 or 9 is you want to help him. You want to help him to strike a balance between freedom, the liberty he has to be on his own, and the balance of still being oversight of the parents, not control but oversight. So you have to balance control and dependency. So give him a little bit of freedom and control. But you don't control him anymore, but you oversight. You give him oversight more, and instructions, leadership. You give him leadership and oversight rather than control. It's the next thing you want to remember for if you are parenting a child of 8 and 9 is for you to always be open. Let him know that you are open to talk to him about everything that is happening in his life, and he should learn to trust his family. He should learn to trust his mother or his father at this age. Ask him more questions. Sometimes the children, they don't know how to open up unless you ask them questions. Well, in one of the classes this week, I will try and tell you how to learn to talk to your child, how to learn to talk to your child, and what to talk to your child about. So that might be one of the topics that I will deal with, because a lot of parents don't know how to talk to their children, and they don't know what to talk about with their children. So we are going to talk about that also as one of the things to learn to talk about. But at this point is when you need to teach the child to begin to open up and share with you his challenges in school, his conflicts, his situations, and to be able to trust you and to come to you with his secrets, with his problems, with his challenges, and open up more to you. If you don't have that kind of openness and open discussion with your child, you should know that that child will begin to look for that support from outside, from the outside world. He might find that kind of support in the street with the bad company, or he might find that kind of support with his peers or with the wrong people. And that is at this age that some children might be enticed into homosexuality. They might be enticed to lesbianism, or they might be raped or abused because they did not have the security of their parents and the openness of their parents enough, and the trust of their parents for them to not be able to share with their parents what is going on in their lives. So somebody else could come and take advantage of them so you don't want somebody to take advantage of your child, and that's why you want to listen to him more and let him know that he could concede in you, or what do we say it? He could confine in you. He could confine in you. So you want to build that trust. That relationship of trust is another thing that you want to do with your child, and the way to do it is to ask the right question. Like I said, I will do a different topic just on that, how to talk to your child and how to, to talk to them. But the key in how to talk to is for you to begin to talk to him more as a grown-up. Don't just treat him as a little baby that doesn't know what's happening. No, begin to treat him as a human being, as a grown-up, and that will make him to trust you more, because he see respect from you to him or to her as well. Okay, so that is the first group of people I want us to deal with today. That's what I will tell you about parenting a child of 8 and 9 year old. Let me see some of the comments that you are writing, or if you have questions about this, and I will read some of your comments now, and then we'll continue and go on to the second group of children that we'll talk about today. The second group of children that we'll talk about is parenting children between the age of 10 and 11. So age of 10 and 11, how do you parent them? How do you parent children of 10 and 11? Before then, let me read some of your comments here. Yeah. Gift is saying a child of 9 years old needs to be built up mentally, intellectually, socially. Yep. Okay. Darlene says, yes, that would be nice to treat the topic on how to talk to your children. Okay. We'll try to do that. How to talk to your children. Shegun Fatima says, too many kids in the UK on the average of 8 per day call for a change of gender. Ooh. I can't believe it. Children are already calling for change of gender. What word are we going to believe in the next 100 years? It's just unbelievable. They are calling the government for change of gender, as many as 8 per day on a daily basis. Every day. God have mercy. I think that all of us that are having the privilege to hear all these teachings, I think we need to take these things outside over there, because I think a lot of these teachings are not being heard, and a lot of people are not being taught well. So we need to go, and because a lot of parents just don't know what to do. I think what leads to children asking for gender change is because they are frustrated. They are frustrated with their parents, they are frustrated with their upbringing, they are frustrated with themselves. So they think that change of gender is what will resolve their issue. But it's not. It's just that they didn't get the kind of upbringing and support that they need. And they think change of gender will be able to help that. They don't even know what gender is. At that age, when you are, pre-teen, you don't even know what is gender, and you still already want to change it. That is just horrible. Okay, so if you have not yet shared the link, let's go ahead and share the link to this program, especially if you have children between the age of 8 and 11. You might want to keep this message so that you'll be able to share it, which, and be able to learn from it and be able to, raise your children up accordingly. Even if you don't, some people on your friends list might be having children between this age, and you want to share the message and let them be able to listen to it. Okay, so what are the peculiarities of raising up children between the age of 10 and 11? The peculiarities of raising up children between the age of 9 and 11. This age is a little bit more serious. This age group is a little bit more serious than the previous age group, because at this age of 10 and 9, this is already closer to teenage period of life. It's already closer to puberty. So it's just under puberty. And so some changes have already started happening in the life of the children. At this point, it is still possible to influence the children. At 10 and 11, you can still influence the children. They still understand who authority is. They still understand who parents are. But you know what happens in puberty, right? It's for most people, especially if they were not taught very well, and if the right principles were not put in place. Puberty is a very big, trying time, especially for teenagers and adolescents. Period of time that's when most children have conflict and problems with their parents. But at this time, this is almost the last stage when something could be adjusted in the children. When if you have missed all of the things that we spoke about before this age, let's say your child, all those things were not given to your child before now, this is almost the last time you can really still remote a child. You can really still remote your baby, your child. You can still, quickly do a quick work on them. Before, let's say between the age of 10 and 11, or let's say before the age of 12. Before the age of 12, you could still influence them to become the kind of people, the kind of child that you want them to become. But after that, it's becoming complex a little bit. It's becoming complex, more complex and more complex. So make sure that at this time, you already begin to test your children if they are growing up the way you want them to grow up or not, if they are the kind of children you want, if the values that you wanted to put in them or you would have liked to see in them are in them. If not, you might need to review your work or your method of developing, growing them up, parenting, and begin to review and put the right things in place. Because some of them might even be leaving home soon in their teenage years. So, especially in countries where people go to secondary school away from home, you want to really begin to put make sure that you have the right principles to really test the fact that yes, that you have the right principles in place for these children. So what are the things you want to pay attention to at this stage? Number one, the peculiarities now. Number one, you want to pay attention to very healthy self-esteem, self-image, self-esteem for the children. You want them to begin to have confidence about themselves, about their body, about themselves, that they are not, their body is not them, about who they are, about their personality. You want them to really be sure of who they are, of their person. You want to really let them know that they are worthy, that they are established in self-confidence, that they are confident of who they are, that they have respect for themselves, that they have respect for their own values, that they have respect for their own upbringing, for their home, for their faith, for for the basic things that you have put in them, because all those things are going to be tested when adolescents come. All those things are going to be tested. Everything they believe, everything they think they believe, whoever they say they are, even from including the home they come from, everything will be challenged in the teenage years. So you want to really make sure that they are well established at this point. So next thing you want to pay attention to, you want to begin to, because at this point, they also begin to notice their body. Even though they are not yet teenagers, but they want to be beautiful at, 10, 11-year-old, they already will be good. Some of the girls want to use cosmetics, they want to wear adult clothes, or they want to be like the mother or the father, or they want to copy their schoolmates, and they want to pay attention to their height, to their beauty, to the way they look, to their body. Because they begin to compare themselves at this point. In short, they begin to compare themselves to other people. Even if they are not comparing themselves, other people will be comparing themselves. They begin to talk about, they begin to notice other opposite sex, boys, girls, and things like that. So you want them to really be established in the value system that you have given to them. And you want them to know who they are, to have respect for themselves, and to have self-esteem, to have healthy self-esteem for themselves. Even though at this time they still don't have anything to show for it, because they are still young at the age of 10 and 11, but they are already sensing that they want to be respected. So at the age of 10 and 11, a child is feeling that he wants to be respected. And that means that you as a parent, you must begin to recognize them and treat them almost like a grown-up, a little bit. Treat them like a grown-up. And yes, they are not having the responsibility of a grown-up yet, but at least you begin to show them respect and give them a little bit more liberty to express themselves and to be able to make choices. And then you begin to also make them to participate in the decision making concerning their lives. What school will you go to? What class? What things? Just let them be. Don't just take all the decisions for them now. Be taking decisions together with them. You give them a little bit of equalities or whatever, equality in deciding things, especially pertaining to whatever pertains to them, that is related to them in particular. Because that is how they gain your respect. They gain your respect when they know that you respect them too. So by respecting them and by honoring them and by giving them that recognition and treat them like almost equal partners, that helps them to respect themselves, to know that you respect them, and to be able to open up more to you, to trust you more. And that trust and openness will really help you to be able to help them out as well as time goes on. Unfortunately, if a child is feeling that he or she does not have that liberty or that freedom or that respect or openness, it might also be negative for the child, because the child will feel like looking for that respect outside. The child will feel like looking for that respect in the peers or in the friends or in school or in the street or with the opposite sex or something like that. So we don't want that to happen. You want to be the one that he will respect, that he will honor, that he will give he will open up to, that he will tell what is going on in his life, not to the girlfriend or somebody else, or to the senior girls in school or in the street. Because at this time, you don't want to lose your child at this particular age of 10 and 11. You want them to open up to you more. So the more you can get openness from the children at this age, it will really, it will help them during the time of adolescence, when more trials and more challenges begin to come their life. So right now, you really need to help them to open up and to trust you more. You want to gain their trust at this time. So I always ask them about how they are doing with their friends, how they are doing with their classmates, how they are doing with their peers, how they are doing with their teachers, how they are doing in their sports or in the other places where they're going, and what are the attitudes to them, and what do they think about it, or have more and more open discussion with them. And of course, you remember, we still continue those special sessions that especially the father will be having with the children. Every day special session. Either you have with them one by one or one-on-one. At this time, that from the age of 8 or 10, you might want to be having one-on-one meeting with them. Either it's going to be one-on-one or it could be together still. But, make sure that you have open discussion at this time as well. At this time also, children begin to be a little bit distracted. Sometimes they might not do their own work well. They might, be lazy a little bit, or they might be distracted, talking about other things, watching television and being distracted. So you want to help them with their focus, and they might not know priority anymore. They might lose and misplace priority at this age. So you want to help them also to get their priorities right, and to make sure that they are they are guided well, and they know what is right. They do their own work. They do what they need to do at the right time, and they are not they are not losing focus. They are not losing focus. So make sure that you still keep on leading them and helping them to get their priorities right. At this time, they already begin to have challenges with obedience or stubbornness. Some children at this point begin to show some signs of stubbornness, disobedience, and change in mood swings, especially the girls. So, but you need to begin to explain that to them, that this is a period that they are preparing for adolescence, and that it is okay, and that if they see some changes in themselves, that they should just talk to you about it, and you should show them understanding, and to give them instruction more. At this stage, you want to beat them less. If you used to beat your children, don't beat them too much. You talk more instead of beating them more. Depend more on instructions instead of on cane and sticks. And so how you manage this will really determine what kind of relationship you will have in future, and in your family in future. Either your family is going to be friendly, trusting, depending on each other, or not. It's also going to determine either they're going to be trusting to you afterwards, during the time of adolescence and after, or not. At this time, especially for the girls, a lot of changes might begin to happen in the body of the girl. There are some of them that no changes has happened yet, but in some cases changes could begin to happen between the age of 10 and 11 in some cases. So you want to also, especially the mother want to begin to talk to the girls about those changes that will happen in their lives. And and the boys also, the father might also need to pay attention to them. Although, funnily enough, at this age, the age of 10 and 11, the boys need their mother more, because they want trust, and they need trust, softness, love, understanding, So at this age of 10 and 11, a boy needs the interaction and trust and relationship, build a closer relationship with the mother, even more than the father. He might be a little bit suspicious of the father in some things, but he would trust and open up more to the mother. And it's the opposite with the girls. At this age, the age of 10, even from 8 sometimes, but age to 11, but especially the age of 10 and 11, it is the mother that is closer to the boys, and the girls are closer to the father. The girls begin to see the need to be covered, to be accepted, to be protected. So the father has to be there for the girls especially. So the girls begin to draw closer to the fathers. And the father has to really treat that girl like my love girl, my beloved girl, really bring him close, really give him that fatherly protection. Now, that fatherly protection will go a long way during the time of her adolescence. She will just pass through that adolescence almost without any problem, almost conflict-free, if the father could give her that covering, that acceptance at the age of 10 and 11. So when it's already adolescence now, the girl will find it smooth. It will be very smooth for the girl to pass through. So if this kind of closeness will be maintained and be achieved by the children and their parents at this critical age of 10 and 11, then when questions and issues begin to arise during the adolescent years later on, they know exactly where to go to, and they know who to trust, and they know who to open up to. So even though the girls might not open up about the peculiar things about girls to the father, but at least she will know that it is in the house. She has to keep it in the house, and she will be having the confidence to open up to the mother, because she knows she has the father's protection and the father's covering. And even the son also, even though he might not open up everything to the father, but at least he knows that home, and he can even talk to the mother and to the father. He knows that he's more protected at home, and he can share all his challenges with them rather than with people outside. So you need to give these children at this age, you need to open the door of trust to them, the door of understanding, the door of harmony, the door of trust. And that is one of the things you really want to get to at this time. I see that a lot of you are writing many comments. Let me read some of your comments before I continue that topic. Obi Ojimadu said, my 10-year-old daughter doesn't come to me anymore to help her, but put cream in her back. Yeah. It doesn't come anymore for you to put cream in her back. Now she locks her door while changing. My 12-year-old daughter started the same thing 2-3 years ago. That is normal. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. Ola Martin said, "Ooh, Pastor, that is so true. My 10-year-old now relates to me more than with his dad." You see. TY said, yeah, I know. Even my daughter does the same thing to me now. Even though I'm a woman too. Shioma is saying we need to help our children to gain independence early by allowing them to take up responsibility. So we need always be there for them as well. Yep. TY says, my boys have always been close to me, but it was challenging when he was 14 and 15. I was trying to have the talk And he said, no, mom. And that's it. He's already a man. He's already feeling that he's a man. You were supposed to have done that at 10 and 11. That's when you could make it have a thought. But when you're already 15, 16, that is already adolescence right there. You don't get to discuss that with me, with him anymore. Only my dad can. I can say, I said, make we go to heaven to bring him down. Eukarya said, Pastor Obi, what your girls did was exactly what I did to my dad. Okay, let's keep on going. So what are the peculiar things that you want to pay attention to as a parent in raising up children of this age of 10 and 11? What are the things you want to really pay attention to? Number one, make sure that you open the door for trust, openness, and free communication with them. You want to build a relationship of trust and openness. You want them to be able to trust you and to be able to be free to come to you to talk at the age of 10 and 11. So you want to talk to them more, ask them questions, and let them have that freedom. Listen to them more and treat them like a grown-up. Next point. At this age, you have to pay attention that the children begin to be aware of their sexuality a little bit. They begin to be aware of their sexuality. They begin to be aware of their body. And especially the girls, they will begin to feel some changes. And that's why what we just read now, they began to close the door when they want to change. And they have started noticing that they are becoming women. So you want to also begin to pay attention to them and teach them how to take care of themselves at this age. You want to teach them how to take care of themselves, to wash after their body, to take care of themselves. You want to also begin to teach them to dress, to take care of their rooms, of their house, of their clothes, of their properties, of their body, of their, to look after themselves. Next thing you want to pay attention to is you want to pay attention to the bodily development. You want to pay attention to the bodily development, physiological development. You want to see that they are developing well, because at this stage there might be some changes, but in some girls or boys there might not be changes. So there might be some complication, and you want to really pay attention that they are growing up well and everything is okay. And you also want to observe their reactions to their changes, that they are not frightened, that they are not living in fear, that they are, that they are open to receive all your help and consultation. And you want to begin to give them books to read about adolescence. You want to begin to prepare them for adolescence. You want to begin to prepare them for adulthood. You might want, another thing you want to do, you might want to take your child, the boys, the father might want to take the son out more to do some boys things or men things. And then the mother might also want to take the girls out sometimes to do some girls things and, begin to teach the girls some things that are peculiar to the women and to the boys. And begin to tell them about the changes that are coming to their lives. And begin to recommend for them to begin to read some books on adolescence, on changes that will happen during the teenage years and during the puberty years and the adolescent years. Begin to teach them about adolescence and about the puberty stage in life and the things that they should expect, the changes they should expect to be happening to their body. It is also nice at this time for parents to begin to share with their children their own experiences. Remember when you were young, and share your experience. Tell them this time they want to also know some of your secrets. They want to know how you met daddy and mother and mommy, and how you grew up, what you are doing. They want you to open up to them. So the more you open up to them, the more it is easier for them to open up to you as well. So do anything that is necessary for you to be able to gain their trust. For you to gain their trust. It's not good to tell them, of course, of your problems, of your challenges, or you could tell, if you want to talk about your challenges growing up, then you should just talk about it as a lesson, in terms of a lesson. You don't want to, have any negative, effect on them. You don't want to have anything that will negatively affect them. So you might just tell them as things that they could learn from, but don't give them pressure. Don't put them under pressure, for what you went through. Now, in our own family, at this time, at this age, we decided to send our children to Africa, because we discover here that if we miss the opportunity at this time in life to give them a real value formation lesson, that we will not be able to recover it. So when our son's parents was 11, we sent him to Africa, and so he came back a different person, and so it's one of the best decisions we ever took concerning parents. And the same thing we did with Zoe when she was 11 too. She also went to Africa to stay there for 1 year, and so that they could learn, because here, they were just having everything easy, and they needed to really learn things about life, about real life, and to see how other people are suffering and things are really are, and to live on their own, and to live in the dormitories, and to live where there are no electricity so much or water, and to see real life, Another thing you want to do with these children at this age is to always rejoice with them for their victories. So you want to really begin to, underline their victories and their successes, their triumphs. You want to celebrate their triumphs more. You want to celebrate them more. So if they are having games, you want to make sure that you go with them to their games, and that you participate with them, rejoice with them. You support them in their school games, in their activities, and in all the things that they do. And you want to underline their victories at this point than their problems. You don't want to emphasize too much problem for them, because they are sensitive to problems, and you want to celebrate them more at this point in time. Okay, tomorrow I'll be talking about children between the age of 12 and 14, and maybe I will talk apart from 12 and 14. I might talk about children between the age of 15 to 17 also. But those are really the most trying period of life for any parent, and for the children as well. So those are the adolescent period of life, and that is not easy. Those are the real trying time, and I hope I'll be able to deal with that. I think I'll talk about 12 to 14-year-old in the morning. No, maybe 12 to 14 and 15 to 16. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. 15 to 17, 12 to 14, 15 to 17. I will probably do that tomorrow in the morning, and then in the evening I will probably do general things about adolescence, about what parents should know and children should know about adolescence, and how to raise up children during puberty, and the specifics of the adolescent children. So, well, yeah, that is, I hope you got something today. Let me see some of the things that you were writing today. Eukarya said, I like the idea of exposing the kids to where they will learn the realities of life, especially those living in the Western world, like Dr. Adelaja clearly outlined. TY says, celebrate their victories and triumphs, attend games, sports, extracurricular activities. Wow, they are sensitive to problems. Emphasize less of problems. Yes. Monica says, Pastor Sunday, I want you to know that if you don't teach them yourself, they will teach them at school. So it's good to give first-hand teaching to your children. It is really important. Thank you for this teaching. Gift Amos, God bless you, Dr. Sunday, for this kind of teaching. TY, wow, you are so different, Dr. Adelaja. Real life lessons. Obi Ojimadu, it is very important for parents to watch out for these changes and adapt quickly. Make sure you knock before entering their rooms because they need to feel secured and understood. This is a time for close discussions, especially the dad with the girls and the mom with the boys. Yep. Kirishenka Galina said, happy are those parents who hear this in time before their children get to be 8 to 11 years old. Happy are those kids whose parents hear this as well. TY, we should make sure that we open the door of trust and openness. Wow, wish I had known this, but thank God for normal closeness. Adewale Adetoye say, relationship with a child could be very challenging, especially in terms of age gap. Yep. If you have not yet shared the link, let's go ahead and share this message. This might be a game changer for a lot of families. So let's go share the message, please. Sheung Oluwatope said, sending children to Africa is like correctional facility, like correctional continent. TY, thank you so much, Dr. Adelaja. So much in-depth wisdom, touching every area of life. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. That is the age bracket for my kids now. Love you, sir. God bless. Wow. Elizabeth Ali, Pastor, you are really opening our eyes and getting me seriously on this thing. Shigo Nwafo, I will be cashing up, just joining. My boys fall into this category. Wow. Elizabeth, oh God, help the single mothers. 2 people workforce person, and then if they have more than 1 child, wow. Amanike, wow, Pastor Sunday. You mean you send your children to Nigeria? This is incredible. God bless you for this. You are really a father. Not everyone can do this. God bless you. Yep. Elizabeth Ali, thank you so much, Pastor Sunday. God bless you, love you, thank you. Gift Amos, leaders in some churches didn't know truth like this. Now talk about teaching their members that is people are not free. We that know these things should stand for our children. Yeah, I think we should also carry the message. Let's carry the message across. Let's spread the word. Let's spread the truth to people. Let's keep on teaching this message everywhere. Yeah. And I hope you guys are reading my articles on MMM. I'm getting some funny comments. Some people don't like the truth. They don't want to learn. But interesting. I hope those who want to learn will learn. Well, nice being with you people. Thank you so much for your time. It's been nice being with you tonight. I think we did a good job. I went straight into the point, and I think we were able to share. Okay, Shigo said, I've been reading and sharing the articles on MMM. Yeah, I hope people are listening. Adewale said, money made me mad. Oh, okay, that's MMM. Money made me mad. Okay. Elizabeth Aina said, this is divine revelation, but the world don't like the truth. So we pray for more grace. Well, sooner or later it's going to get to them. Sheon Oluwatope, thank you for being a blessing, sir. Thank you. Maji Yagbe, thank you for your time, sir. Thank you. Eukarya, I said, I read the article today. It was so nice. Yep, thank you. Justin Mayo said, those who want to learn will learn. Thank you, Pastor. Lola Shorunke, thank you. Gift Amos, thank you, Pastor. Shigo, well done. They are so in-depth. Comfy, yes, you did a very good job. Thanks. God bless you. Gift Amos, MMM is money-making machine. Yeah, that's true. Galina say, God bless you and your family. TY is on all my social media platforms and is beginning to get tracking. Love the write-up, sir. Very well done. Thank you. Obi Ojimadu, someone tried to commit suicide because his money was frozen in MMM 2 weeks to his wedding. Yeah, unfortunately. Shigo says, I can't wait for tomorrow's one. By the way, Shigo, let me tell you a secret. Tomorrow's one is going to be tomorrow's one is going to be a home run. It's going to be a blockbuster. I just want to tell you in secret now. Tomorrow's one, if you don't read any one of these articles on MMM, the one of tomorrow, you have to read it. The one of tomorrow, of course, it will take thinking people to be able to really assimilate that one of tomorrow. The one of tomorrow, I want to expose the people behind it in Nigeria, but not just exposing the people behind it, but also the damage of get-rich-quick schemes like that and why it is dangerous. So it's going to be coming out from morning tomorrow. It's going to be there everywhere tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning is going to be a big one. Harmonica said, yes, Pastor Sunday, I read your article today again about MMM. Thanks so much for all this information. Don't worry about negative comments. You have tried your own best. Yes. Paul says, thank you for the exposure on that organization. Olayinka says, sir, please don't mind them. The reality is already on the ground. They just don't want to admit it. Yep. Kiru says, I've been sharing it and some are crossing me. Just for sharing, though. Some are crossing you just for sharing the article. Thank God you didn't share the article I wrote about Biafra. The article I wrote about Biafra, a lot of people, Biafra people, came against me like they were ready to kill me if necessary. And they just like to abuse you for some reasons. Victoria Adams said, my friends are calling regarding the article I shared and asking me, who is this, my pastor? Yeah, because, they need to hear these things. Elizabeth said, oh, look forward to it. Okay. Shigo, I think the man who probably diverted the unpaid funds into his syndicate, the man has probably diverted the unpaid funds into his syndicate's account. That's how they cash out. I really can't wait. You can post it by 12 a.m. already. No. We have to be stable. We have to be constant at the same time. I think it comes out in the morning by 11 o'clock in the morning, I think it's either 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning. It should be out. I think it comes out on my blog at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and on the Facebook by 11 o'clock in the morning. Eukarya said, wow, thank you for all the great things you do to save our dear country, Nigeria. God bless you. So, TY, are there some secret to that time? Okay. Pat Madue, thank you, Pastor. Everybody is learning from you. Thank you. Adetoyeshe Adewale said, I'm a Biafran citizen, sir. So please don't quote me. TY says, it is so good that you are shouting the thing on the rooftop. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. I'm just so glad someone took up the challenge. God bless you. By the way, I think by the time the articles are finished, I think we'll be writing, I think it's going to be like, let me see how many pages. There are like 8 pages in the average. No, yeah. 8, 9 pages in there. Let's say 8 pages in the average, and there are 8 of them. How much? 8 times 8 is how much again? It's 8 times 8 is 56. Yeah, so there are going to be like 56 pages of maybe 60 to 70 pages of article. That's what we're going to have. 50 to 70 pages article. That's why it has to be broken into pieces so that it will be easier for people to read. So that's where we are. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is going to be, like I said, very challenging here in the morning, because we're going to be talking about, 8 plus 9 is 64. Okay, 64. Abraham, great. Pastor, thank you. I know when you speak on MMM, that's what the rulers of the land will pay attention to. Maybe we should turn it to a book so many nations can have understanding. Yeah, maybe, you read it first and tell me. You read it first and tell me if it's worth turning into a book or not. TY says, you wrote a whole thesis in a few days. Wow. Yep. Yeah. That's how we like to do it. Do a quality job. Do a quality job. Okay, tomorrow is going to be exciting. We're talking about the adolescents. But not just exciting, it's going to be challenging. Talking about between the age of 12 and 17 tomorrow. Between the age of 12 and 17. So see, that's tomorrow morning, and the evening we'll talk about adolescence. So thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Good night. Bye.